Hey, welcome to our latest explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a huge topic, free trade agreements. You've probably heard for years that they're the secret sauce for global prosperity, right? The key to making everyone richer. But, as we're going to see, the reality, especially now, is a whole lot more complicated.
So that brings us to the big question we're tackling today. Are these deals really the win-win they're cracked up to be, lifting all boats? Or have they kind of morphed into a trap, where one country sails ahead with all the goodies and the other gets left behind, stuck with the bill?
All right, let's start with how this is supposed to work. The whole promise of free trade is this beautiful idea of a world without economic walls. It's built on a concept called comparative advantage, and it's a simple, elegant theory. If every country just focuses on what it does best and trades for everything else, we all win. In a perfect world, that's exactly what happens. But we don't live in a perfect world, do we? So, what exactly is an FTA anyway? Well, at its heart, it's just a deal to slash or get rid of those taxes, the tariffs, on stuff that crosses borders. Think of it like swinging open a giant door between two countries. The whole point is to make it way cheaper and way faster for businesses on both sides to trade with each other. Simple enough.
And man, the sales pitch is a good one. When that door is open, you're promised all this great stuff. You're talking about a big boost to the economy, cheaper prices for you and me when we go shopping, and a ton of new investment flowing into the country. It's supposed to weave countries together and even create more stability in the world. It's a really powerful vision.
But here's the thing. If the promise is so great, why do so many of these deals end up feeling so lopsided? Why does it always seem like one partner is on the fast track while the other is just stuck in the mud? Let's get into the messy reality of why these deals so often get thrown off balance.
It really comes down to four big reasons. First up, you've got asymmetric power. Plain and simple, a huge economy can muscle a smaller one into a deal that just isn't fair. Second, and this one's a biggie, is structural readiness. I love this analogy. An FTA opens a door, but if one country has a high-speed bullet train ready to roll and the other just has a rusty bicycle, well, who do you think is going to win that race? Third, there are these sneaky things called non-tariff barriers. These are like hidden rules, crazy complex paperwork, or super strict safety standards that can block your goods even without a tax. And finally, you've got the backdoor effect. This is where a totally different country, one that's not even in the deal, uses one of the partners as a secret tunnel to sneak its own goods in tariff-free. This really lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got your winner. They're shipping out high-value finished products. They've got super efficient ports and supply chains all figured out. But on the right, that's the losing partner. They're often stuck exporting basic raw materials, dealing with high energy costs and bad infrastructure at home. And the one tool they had to protect themselves, tariffs, is now gone.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's look at what's actually happening in the real world right now. We're going to check out 3 major trade deals to see how these dynamics are playing out as we speak.
This table is a fantastic snapshot. You've got the huge India-EU deal, which is all about green standards. Then look at the USMCA in the middle. See that major challenge? Chinese content leakage via Mexico. That's the backdoor effect we were just talking about, right there in black and white. And on the right, the CPTP, which is all about the future, about digital trade. Every deal has a big prize, but every deal has a big problem too.
And here's the proof that just signing a new deal doesn't magically fix everything. Even though the whole point of the new USMCA was to protect American jobs, the trade deficit with Mexico just exploded. We're talking a projected $263 billion. That's the backdoor effect in action. It's not just about Mexico, it's about other countries using Mexico as a launchpad into the US market.
So, what happens when a country realizes it's getting the short end of the stick? Well, they're not just taking it lying down anymore. Nations are getting way smarter and way more aggressive about fighting back and trying to level the playing field. Let's look at the tools they're using to do it.
Okay, the number one weapon in this fight is something called an anti-dumping duty, or ADD. Here's the best way to think about it. If the free trade deal is the open door to a club, the anti-dumping duty is the bouncer. It's a special tariff a country can slap on imports if it can prove the other side is selling stuff at unfairly low prices, basically dumping it on the market to wipe out the local competition.
And what's fascinating here is you see 2 totally different playbooks. On one side, you've got India playing defense. They're using these anti-dumping duties like a shield to protect their domestic factories as part of their big Make in India strategy. Then you've got the US playing offense. They're using high-tech tools like an AI-powered task force to actively hunt down and prosecute anyone trying to cheat the system.
So all of this whole push and pull, this fight for fairness, It's all leading to the biggest shakeup in global trade we've seen in decades. It's the great supply chain shift. As companies scramble to find alternatives to being solely reliant on China, a strategy called China Plus One, there's a massive prize up for grabs. So who's actually winning?
This chart, wow, it tells a pretty dramatic story. As of 2025, the clearest, fastest winner of this China Plus One race is Vietnam. They have racked up a massive $20 billion trade surplus. But look at India, the other big contender. They're still running a deficit. So the billion-dollar question is, why? Why is Vietnam sprinting ahead while India seems to be lagging behind?
Well, it's because they're running two completely different races. You could call Vietnam's strategy the sprint. It has become this hyper-efficient assembly hub. It takes in parts from China, puts them together super fast, and ships out finished goods like electronics. It's quick, and it generates that huge surplus. India, on the other hand, is running a marathon. It's a much slower, harder strategy. They're trying to build the entire supply chain from the ground up, right at home. It's riskier for sure, but the potential prize is total self-reliance.
And that really leaves us with the ultimate question for the next decade. As this great global manufacturing shift keeps going, who's actually going to win the future of trade? Is it going to be the fast, integrated sprinter or the slow, strategic marathon runner? History tends to show that the real winner is the one that builds up its ability to produce, not just the one that enjoys being able to consume. What do you think?
If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe.